Hello everybody. How everybody's doing? Let me do a really quick check if you can hear me, if the sound is good, and if my OBS settings is working correctly. Hello everybody. Okay, looks like everything is working correctly. So, hello everybody, welcome to my live stream. Today we're going to code, and today we're going to build a segment and control, a scrolling segment and control, and we're going to dive into it. So let me switch my screens. Okay. So bear with me for a second because I am just trying to I'm just trying to configure everything so that everything is working correctly. All right. So today we are going to build a segment and control, and we're going to make a scrollable segment and control. And let me see what is going on with my OBS. It feels like everything is frozen. I'm so sorry. I'm having technical difficulties. Bear with me for a second. With my OBS. Okay. Looks like everything should work correctly. Okay, so housekeeping. Here's the link for you, so you that you can use. I will leave it in the chat, like right here. So if you're following along, and or if you would like to follow along, so here's the code where you can see me code. So let me just see something. For some reason I don't like something is going on with my OBS. Give me 1 second. Okay, looks like everything is working. Okay. So now we can start coding. Now everything is working, like technology, y'all. So here's the link for my GitHub repo, and I'm going to post every update there. So if you want to follow along, just come here, and you can pull the code. And if you are new, if you're new to the live stream, or you would like to have updated code, or like if you're joining late and if you haven't been at the beginning of the live stream, so just let me know in the chat that, hey, I would like to have updated code, and I will push my code as I'm coding along. So yeah, let's get started. So we are going to build like segment and control that is scrollable, so you will be able to scroll. However, before we get started, I would like to point out why it's not a good idea to make your segment and control scrollable. So it's simply a usability issue. So if I if I drag, or if I tap on the segment and control and I try to scroll it, I won't be able to. So I would have to drag the scroll view to be able to scroll, and it's a huge usability issue. So if, for example, you have a UX UI design where you have something like something similar to tabs, or something similar to segment and control like that, and it has to scroll, so you have to work with your UX UI designer if it is possible to modify it a little bit, or do custom thing, but just a native segment and control like that, make it scrollable, is not a good idea because it is not very usable. However, I will show you how to do that, and after that, I'm going to do it really quick, and after that we're going to focus on how to do it better. So the alternative would be create a stack view, a horizontal stack view, and fill it up with buttons or custom view. You can go either or. You can create simple stack of views and make it scrollable, and attach to that. And in that UI view, you can place an object that would have some sort of gesture recognizer. Then when you tap on that, it will change color and things like that. Or you can do it with buttons, with UI buttons. So I'm going to go with UI buttons approach because it is a little bit faster. So yeah, let's get into it. So open your Xcode and select app, select storyboard, and UIKit app delegate, and the language will be Swift. I will name my project as a scrollable segment and control. Scrollable segment and control, and next, create, and I will select this folder so you can see my update on GitHub. Create. Okay, and I will change my simulator to iPhone 12 Pro Max. So I'm going to go ahead and test it out just to make sure that everything is working. Everything is working. All right, I'm going to close that. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make my code a little bit bigger so you can see everything what I'm typing. And I'm going to go ahead and update my code. So okay. Like I said, the all updated code will be on this GitHub repo. Let me post a link again, so you can go ahead and create the project yourself, or you can simply just go and clone that repo and follow along in that repo, whatever you prefer. So now let's get into coding. I will create a method right here, and I will call it func create scrollable, configure scrollable segment and control. Configure scrollable segment and control. And we're going to call it right here. Configure scrollable segment control. Okay, and here we going to create our segment and control. So the first thing that you need is, for the segmented control, if you're not familiar, you can create segmented control with an array of objects. So segmented control equals UI segmented control, and you can create it with an array of items. And we're going to just create, I'm going to just copy and paste some code from my existing project because I don't want to type it out myself. And I will update my code so you can have it. So here's my objects or items for the segmented control. So let me go ahead right here. The time is 7:42. Items for segmented so items for segmented control, push. And now, if you're following along, you should have that you should have that segmented control items in the code. So, or you can pause the video and type it out yourself. Items. So in order to make a segmented control scrollable, you need to put your segmented control in the scroll view. So let's create a scroll view. UI scroll view. One important thing when you're working with a scroll view, sometimes scroll view, even if you provide correct constraints, will complain about the content, scrolling content area or scrolling content size is not really defined. So scroll view content size equals and it is CG size width and height. Width we're gonna have 0, and height we're going to say let's say 50, or let's do it even yeah, 50 sounds really good. 50. Now we're going to create UI programmatically. So it might as well just right here, segmented control tamic translate autoresizing mask constraints equals false, meaning we will configure it yourself. The same thing with scroll view. Constraint autoresizing mask equals false, so we can provide and configure our UI ourselves. And let me have a little bit more space so it's a little bit more readable. Okay, I hope everything is clear to this point. So, and now basically what we have to do, we have to put segmented control into scroll view and scroll view into our view and provide constraints. So let's do that. Scroll view, add subview, and it will be segmented control. And now we just have to lay out our constraints. And as layout constraint activate. So this method will provide you like an array of constraints that you can configure. So now scroll view, tab anchor, constraint equals to view save area layout guide, tab anchor. Let's provide trailing, leading and trailing anchors, scroll view, leading anchor, constraint equals to view, leading anchor. Let's provide trailing anchor, scroll view, trailing anchor to view trailing anchor. And let's provide the height, because we can't really provide the button anchor because there's nothing under the scroll view. So we would need to configure how tall the scroll view is. Scroll view, height anchor, equal, no, not that. So constant, and let's say 50. So now we have to constrain our segment and control. So segmented control, tab anchor, constraint equal to scroll view, tab anchor, scroll view, tab anchor, segment and control, leading anchor, constraint equal to view leading anchor, segment and control, trailing anchor, constraint equal to scroll view, trailing anchor, and let's provide bottom anchor, segment and control, bottom anchor equals to constraint equal to scroll view bottom anchor. Remove extra space. So everything looks correct. So we have top anchor, we have leading anchor, we have trailing anchor, we have height anchor, and for the segment control we have top, we have leading, we have trailing, we have bottom anchor, and we are calling it correctly. So all being well, we are going to see we are not going to see anything. So okay, maybe because we don't have the bottom anchor, so we're going to provide high anchor, and we're going to say 45. So hopefully it will work. Oh, and does it work? So, oh, yeah, because we have an add subview scroll view. So scroll view, we added the subview for segmented control as a subview for the scroll view, and now we're adding the actual scroll view. Okay, what did bottom anchor, top anchor. I mean, like, why is so weird? So, and now this is our segmented control. So we did it. This is how you configure scrollable like segmented control. But again, user experience is just awful. So I would have to even bump it up to let's say 40. Make it a little bit smaller, so I have a little bit more room to grab the scroll view. So this is not a scalable solution. So if you are trying to implement this architecture, this is probably not something that you want to do. So let me push my code, and I will provide a time stamp 753. Scrollable segmented control ready. So if you want to have that code is in my repo. You can pull it, and you will be able to see my code. So what we're going to do instead, we are going to create a custom button. So, and the way we're going to do that, I'm going to create extension on UI button. The reason I'm creating the extension and not doing in the view controller, because I would like to access it like outside of my function, and I would like to create my button using a method, because the code is going to be exactly the same for each button, and I don't want to copy and paste my code many times. So that's why I going to create extension on UI button. And here we're going to create a method. Here we're going to create a method where we're going to create a button. Func create segmented control button. And set title to, and it's going to be a string. So we're going to be setting title based on that string to our UI button. All right, so let button equals UI button, and we're just gonna create like plain UI button. We don't have to make a system UI button, because we want to create a custom UI button that is going to look similar to segmented control. That's why we're just creating a UI button. So button tamic false. So then button set title 2, and for the state normal, button set title color, and it's going to be let's go with black for right now. We're not going to worry about dark mode just as of yet. We're just trying to learn a technique how to create a custom segmented control. Okay, so button with anchor, the width is going to be 90. Button height anchor and the height is going to be 30, and of course we're going to be say is active equals true. Same here is active equals true. So we need something like not quite white, not quite gray, something really like really light gray. So let's go ahead and create that that color. Button background color equals UI color init. So it's going to be 0.1, 0.1. So very, very light gray or similar to that. So let's make our button a little bit more rounded. Button layer corner radius equals 6. Button layer border width is equals 0. Let's say 0.5 for right now, and button layer CG border color equals UI color black CG color. Oh, and our button is going to return UI button. Almost forgot. Return button. So let's build. Okay, everything is building correctly. So if you want to have that code, I'm going to push it to GitHub Repo. 8 o'clock. Create custom button. Here we go. Now we have our button, our custom button. So what we're gonna do now, we're going to, in our view right here, we're going to create several buttons. Several buttons. The way we're gonna do it, we're just gonna create like let, and the names of the button is gonna be similar to our items. All fruits, UI button. And we're going to simply copy and paste that. And now we're going to create each and every button just like that. UI button, create button, orange, same with grapes, UI button, create button, grapes, and I'm going to copy the rest, like to save a little bit more time, because it's just going to be a lot of copying and pasting. So orange. Oh. Like, what do you mean I don't have that? Let's build, fail. Okay, we have extra orange here. Okay, build is successful. And if you want to have that code, so 804, create buttons. You can go ahead and pull that code in. By the way, if you're joining my live stream live right now, feel free to say hi. Feel free to ask me any questions that you might have. And I will do my best to answer them. So let's continue. Okay, we have our buttons. Now, let's create a method. So we're not going to use this method anymore. Let's create method. Configure. Custom. Custom segment and control. Here we go. So the way we're going to do it, we're going to create a stack view, and it's going to be horizontal stack view. And then we're going to put that stack view in the scroll view, so you can scroll. And in that stack view, we're going to put an array of our items, or sorry, an array of our buttons. And we will go from there. So let's create an array of our buttons. Let segmented control buttons equals, and it's gonna be an array. So it's gonna be an array of UI buttons. So all fruits. Okay, all fruits. Then what we have, orange, banana, mango, papaya, coconut, Django. I never had Django. Grapes. And what? I think this is it. Oh, I think this is our array of items. So like this is the array of our buttons. So if you have a style, if you have a question about style, I usually prefer do my arrays like that, so it's a little bit more readable what is in that array. All right. So we will need that array later on in this live stream. Just bear with me for a second. So now let's create a stack view. UI stack UI stack view, arrange subviews, and we're going to just say segment and control buttons. Stack view atomic equals false, so we're going to constrain everything ourselves. Stack view axis, it is going to be horizontal. Stack view this distribution fill equally. And we're done here. So let's create our scroll view. UI scroll scroll view. UI scroll UI scrollers. UI scroll view. Scroll view content size equals CG size 0, and 50 would be fine. Scroll view scroll view background color equals, and we're going to create our background segment and control background color, like right here. So this is going to be our segment and control background color. We will need that color later on when we will change the color of the button as we are tapping on those buttons. So this is why I would like to store it right here. Segment and control. Oh, no. Segment and control background color. Okay, scroll view and sub view, and we're going to add stack view. Now, view, add sub view, scroll view, and NS layout, layout. I can type today. NS layout constraint activate. So we're going to provide NS layout constraints, just like that. And the rest is pretty much really similar to what we did here. Really similar to what we did here. I actually going to just copy and paste that. So, and instead of segment and control, we have our stack view. Okay. Okay. Configure custom segment and control. Let's run and see if all being well, we're gonna see our buttons or not. Why we're not seeing our buttons? That's really weird. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know. I think I know what the problem is. Scroll view. Equals false. Did we do that? We haven't. We didn't do it. Yeah. So, and I know it doesn't look exactly like segment and control, not 100%, but very similar. However, it's something that you can configure yourself. But it's a trade-off. So it's kind of it's a conversation that you're gonna have with your designer. So when you have a design that you have tabs, something like this, and you want to ask your designer, hey, is it okay if we do like kind of provide prototype and suggest how we do that? Because honestly, it looks really similar to what we're like to segment and control. Like, yeah, maybe borders, like you can play around with borders a little bit more, but it looks fairly similar. And per my experience, usually companies would have some sort of like custom segment and control. If it is scrollable like that, they usually would have some sort of like custom segment and control. And my simulator just got smaller. So the last thing that we're gonna do is, for this tutorial, I would like to change the color for the button. So and all the buttons are going to have the same target, the same action. So here's what you can do with Swift. Segmented control buttons for each a target equals self. It will be a selector, and we're gonna get to the selector here in a second. Touch up inside. So let's create our selector method. Add objc func handle segmented control buttons. Sender, and the sender is UI button. Okay, and handle. Okay, so this is gonna be this is where we're going to basically change the color. So in that method, we would need to have an array of items of our buttons yet again. So, and what we're going to do, we're going to iterate, we're going to create a for loop, and we're going to iterate through our segment and control buttons. And we're going to change the color based on the button that was pressed or tapped. So based on that, we're going to change the color of that button. So for button in segmented control buttons, and the logic here is really simple. If button equals sender, so in other words, our button that was pressed, then we're going to do something. And if it's not the sender, else, if it's any other button, then we're going to do something different. So what we're going to do, if a button is our sender, if the button is the button that we're actually pressing right now, we're going to change the color and we're going to add some animation to it. UI view, animate, so interval 0.2, delay 0.1, options transition flip from left, animations, and we don't care about completion right here. So, and what we're going to animate here is a button background color equals white, and else we're going to copy their code and we're going to say segment and control background color. So let's run. Oh, hey, hey. Thank you for joining my live stream. Oh, where is my... Did I run? Did I run? Oh, like, my code has failed. What has failed? Oh. Oh, right. Right. Okay, so now we have to provide weak self. Weak self in, and we're gonna provide optional save here. So, and now color's changing. Color is changing. So how everybody is doing? Caleb, how are you doing? Are you still on the stream? So this is how we do our custom segment and control, or one of the ways. So it's pretty similar to segment and control. Yes, the animation is not quite the same, and I'm not gonna do animation for this live stream. And if you notice, for segment and control, the animation will slide through the whole array of items until it hits that particular item. So let me just comment it out and call different function, configure scrollable segment and control. So let me just run that and I will show you the animation. So here and right here. So I love this animation. So this is probably something that you have to play around and configure your buttons like that, and probably also the corner radius is a little different. You can change it as you want, but this is the way. So, but this is the main issue with scrollable segment and control, that I can grab it. I would have to look for scroll view and grab actual scroll view. So this is why I don't recommend to make your segment and control scrollable, and instead do a custom scroll view. So how was Colorado? Colorado was really good. I had a lot of time. We didn't have a lot of time in Colorado really, to kind of, explore a lot. We just went to different neighborhoods and just to see different neighborhoods, to see the crowd, to see different places, to kind of see the prices and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. I'm going to be moving in August. So unfortunately, my property management company didn't let me end the lease early. So I'm kind of stuck in Seattle for a while. So, this is so one of the benefits, yes, I know we kind of have to do a lot of work to recreate segment and control ourselves. So the animation might not be exactly the same as on segment and control, but more importantly, I can grab any button. So I press this button and I can scroll. I can press, I can scroll. So this is the main benefit to create your segment and control like that. So, and there are many ways to do that. So this is just one way to do that. And probably the simplest way to do that. You can probably create a custom you can probably create a custom collection view, and with a cell, with collection view cell, you can probably do that, or you can do with a stack view. And because it is like right here, where is our button? Because in our button we have an array of buttons. We can probably send sliding animation through those buttons. But again, like, this is something that, like, I would personally talk to my UX UI designer. So like, hey, it will take me a long time to build an animation, so it's kind of difficult. Is it okay if we animate it like that? And per my experience, usually UX UI designers are really cooperative and say like, yes, it is okay. Or if it is really important feature, like, no, like, it has to be automated, and you just provide your estimate. So it's about negotiation. Hopefully things will be better in the summer. Anyway, making it a safer move. Yeah, definitely. I got my vaccine when on Tuesday. Tuesday Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh no, like, it was when yeah, it was, yeah. I have the day. It's either it was on Tuesday or on Wednesday. So I will be fully vaccinated by then. So it definitely helps, and definitely make it a little bit more safer. So yeah, and this is pretty much the segment and control. And yeah. Caleb, what do you think about custom segment and control? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because like, I had a really interesting task at work where I had to implement similar functionality. Luckily, we had everything ready custom, and we didn't have to create like crazy animations. But yeah, like, it was actually pretty interesting, and I was initially trying to implement that and kind of modify the segment and control, but then I found out really quickly that segment and control is not as like usable or user friendly. So I'm glad that we went through the custom implementation of the segment and control. Yeah. So, unless you have any questions or suggestions or anything that you want to chat about, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Oh, yeah, let me update the code. So, A29 finished. So, let me go and share the link with you. Caleb says he hasn't used segment and control too much. Yeah, me neither. It's just like one of those things. And my OBS looks really. Oh, that's why it looks really weird, because I have my chat there. My bad. Yeah, I haven't used segment and control too much as well. It's just like, I personally like that UI element, and I think native UI element looks just perfect. So but yeah. So you guys, it's been an hour, and the code to the for the video is in the link, and I will I will probably put a link in the description for the video, like if you own Replay Crew, so you have the access. But like let me just kind of summarize what we were doing in this live stream. So we created a segment and control and put it in the scroll view. So this is like configure scrollable segment and control, and as an example how you can put segment and control in the scroll view. However, it's not really user friendly. You would have to indicate to a user like that, like, hey, like click here or tap here and scroll. So it can be a little arrow or something, so user understands, and possibly a different background color for the scroll view would help to understand, oh, like this is the area where you kind of scroll, or like some sort of indication that user should scroll. But if you want to have the animation of the segment and control for free, and you are okay with the user experience, like this is how you do it. If you want to something more custom, this is the implementation configure custom segment and control. This is how you do it there. Usually only for 3 or 4 value, never needed to scroll them. Yeah, same here. I just had to work with the UI that had more items, or that like it was a requirement that segment and control or that tabs have to be scrollable. Same here. I haven't tried it in Swift UI. I'm kind of curious how Swift UI would handle that, and if it's better in Swift UI. So I kind of want to try that. Maybe it's another video for another live stream, because we are over an hour right now, and yeah, unless I see that 2 people are watching. If you have any thoughts, any questions, if you want to chat, if you want to just chill, it's totally fine. If you don't have any questions, if y'all good, I'm probably gonna go ahead and wrap it up, because I'm not gonna code anymore, because I'm kind of done with coding, and the code is in the Github repo. Hopefully you will be able to follow along, or later on, if you own the Replay Crew, that code will help you, or will help you to solve a problem at your job. So I thought it was just an interesting technique with UIKit, and I just something that I wanted to share. And I didn't really want to record a video anyway, because, well, it's a UIKit, and you know, Swift UI live streams. Yeah, I will try to tinker with that in Swift UI, and I have a feeling that Swift UI is going to be really short live stream, because it is easier to build UI in Swift UI. So you don't have to provide those like constraints, and configure like content size for the scroll view. So it's so much easier. I like Swift UI. Alright, so if you don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here. Please like the video, share the video if you find it useful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all. I'll see you next time. tutorial